Dear viewers, SpaceX is preparing for a thrilling journey as SpaceX's Starship rocket, fresh from 2 electrifying test flights in 2023, stands poised for launch at the Starbase facility in Boca Chica, Texas. This colossal deep space rocket system is set to undergo an hour-long integrated flight test, aiming for a successful splashdown in the Indian Ocean. This mission, if successful, will pave the way for more complex test flights and ultimately, the transportation of NASA astronauts to the moon's surface. The launch time has been rescheduled several times, primarily to ensure the safety of nearby marine traffic. As of now, the launch is targeted for 8:25 a.m. on Thursday, with SpaceX progressing with propellant loading onto the vehicle. Weather conditions seem promising, with a 70% chance of being favorable for takeoff. The launch window extends for 110 minutes, closing at 8:50 a.m. on Thursday. SpaceX views the Starship system as pivotal to its founding mission of human Mars exploration. Importantly, NASA has selected Starship as the lunar lander for the Artemis III mission, scheduled for as early as September 2026. If Thursday's test flight goes as planned, the Super Heavy booster, the first stage of the launch vehicle, will ignite and ascend over the Gulf of Mexico. Approximately 3 minutes into the flight, the Super Heavy booster will separate from the Starship spacecraft after consuming most of its fuel. The booster will then aim for an autonomous, controlled landing in the ocean, while the Starship spacecraft continues its ascent at breakneck speeds. Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX, has stated that a primary objective of these early test flights is to achieve orbital speeds with Starship, fast enough to maintain a stable orbit around Earth. This typically requires speeds exceeding 17,500 miles per hour. However, Starship will not attempt to enter orbit during this flight. Instead, it will aim for a hard landing in the Indian Ocean, ideally more than 230 miles away from the nearest landmass. After about 6 minutes of engine burn, Starship will enter a coasting phase and proceed with a series of key tests and demonstrations. Among these, Starship will attempt to open its payload door, a crucial step for deploying satellites on future missions. Additionally, SpaceX will conduct a propellant transfer demonstration, aiming to transfer some of the onboard propellants from one tank to another. This test was outlined in a December email from NASA. Building on our previous discussion, SpaceX engineers have been meticulously designing demonstrations to perfect the in-orbit refueling process for Starship. This is a critical aspect for the success of high-profile missions in the future. In a parallel development, the Orion pressure vessel for NASA's Artemis III mission was moved onto a work stand in the Neil A. Armstrong Operations and Checkout Building at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida on October 20, 2021. Lockheed Martin technicians are preparing the spacecraft for its launch atop a Space Launch System rocket. This mission, slated for 2024, will mark a historic moment as it sends the first woman and the first person of color to the moon. When Starship embarks on its lunar journey under NASA's Artemis program, it will need to remain in Earth's orbit while separate vehicles are launched solely to refuel the spacecraft. This could entail more than a dozen refueling trips to ensure Starship reaches the moon. About 49 minutes into the flight, Starship will attempt a daring plunge back towards the ocean. Elon Musk, SpaceX's CEO, has expressed increased confidence in the success of this flight compared to the attempts in 2023. A successful flight could provide invaluable data, propelling Starship towards more challenging test flights. On November 18, 2023, spectators watched in awe as SpaceX's next-generation Starship spacecraft, mounted on its powerful Super Heavy rocket, lifted off from the Boca Chica launch pad for an uncrewed test flight. This spectacle was visible from South Padre Island near Brownsville, Texas. SpaceX emphasizes that these flight tests are not conducted in a lab or on a test stand, but in a real flight environment to maximize learning. This rapid, iterative development approach has been the cornerstone of all of SpaceX's major innovative advancements. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey into the future of space exploration. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thrilling updates.